pen pals.
That works.
You got the pen pals are here today. Pen pals. You started this, Doug.
Doug Benson is here because Doug Benson is here. And I wish you well. Sign your pen pals. I knew you knew it.
Yeah, you were like the triangle at the end. That's just like, or the chimes.
The chimes.
The chimes.
I love the chimes.
Are
I wish
you
I was
wearing-
in a band where I just had to like take the drumstick down the chimes.
Are you wearing Last Blockbuster sunglasses?
Because that means it's like a new day.
Yeah.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Like in storytelling?
Yeah, and these are cheap sunglasses that say Block. Does it say Blockbuster on
It
them?
does say
Yeah, in Bend,
Blockbuster.
Oregon over here.
Yeah, the last remaining Blockbuster video.
You're
Someone
in the
told
dock.
me the one in Alaska was the last remaining one. Here's what I think is going on. I think
to
people.
lie.
I think there's still 400 of them, and everyone goes, "This is the only one." And you're not going to look into it. You know, you're not going to research that.
I did some research.
For the dock?
Yeah, I went to the one.
Is that where they
still
filmed
exists.
it too? Where they? Oh.
Yeah, in Bend, Oregon.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful city.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I
not
played
in
there.
Alaska.
I love it.
So stop with that.
This is the
Alaska
research you
talk.
look like you're doing. Someone's coming up going, "Yeah, but you don't know what's in the vaccine." You go, "But I do know where the last Blockbuster is."
Did you do a show there? In Bend?
Well,
did.
I
loved
wanted to do a show in Bend, but you know, I got a show set up at the theater there, and then COVID happened, and then I don't know when I'll get to reschedule it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just visiting Bend to go to the last Blockbuster excited me about the city.
You went there specifically for that?
Yeah. Well, they interviewed me. They did like sit-down interviews of, talking head interviews with people in Los Angeles. And I was sitting there talking about it, and I go, and you have, you're going to have footage in this documentary of the place, the last Blockbuster, right? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, well, has anybody you've interviewed been to that Blockbuster? And they're like, no. And I go, I would go.
Yes.
Because I would like to see it.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
And you could go to
And
Portland
then you
so easily.
could,
to do a show.
film my experience going there. And I didn't know how much they'd end up. I didn't know that would be the big finish of the movie.
Right.
I didn't know how much weight would be on my shoulders
to bring the audience there.
take this thing home. And
Yeah.
but I had a blast while I was there, and just made a bunch of dumb jokes, and they just filmed me, and then they picked what they wanted to use.
Did it close or is it still there?
It's still
It's
there.
still going strong.
They just shot a
because
TV show.
now
It's
they're
the
all
last one.
about, now they sell merch, because people that are visiting from out of town, they're not going to rent a movie.
Right.
Right.
Because it's still a movie rental place.
Yeah.
So the locals use it for that.
Yeah.
But mostly it's like now it's like this, little, it's almost like a museum or something.
It feels like it.
You can go and just relive the experience. Because I wasn't even a big Blockbuster person. I went to the mom and pop one across the street from the Blockbuster.
Yeah, yeah.
When I was, doing that.
Yeah.
I was renting movies. And
Is it still set up the same?
Yes.
Is it still like
Yeah.
the movie there and then behind it, if
Yeah.
those
I
copies
sent
aren't
you.
there,
Do you remember I
can't
sent you a
take it?
picture? I took a picture
Yeah.
of Back to the Future, and I sent
Oh
it to
right,
you.
yeah.
it looks the same.
Is it
and I-
DVDs? It's all
Both.
DVDs.
It's mainly DVDs.
Yeah.
There is some VHS, but
They got me doing we had a dramatic shot where I walk in, the camera's spinning around me, and I take my glasses off, like how Sam Neill
Sure.
takes them off in Jurassic Park when he sees a dinosaur, which they have, gone back to in this new one that's about to come out.
Oh, really?
Laura Dern takes off her sunglasses to
Were you at the
see
premiere?
a dinosaur.
that
Like,
she's
what
already
is that
seen.
over there?
You've already seen that.
I gotta
what
get-
you've been through.
I got to get these sunnies off, or I'm not going to be able to see this shit.
Yeah.
So
don't you kind of hope a dinosaur comes in right now so that Doug can go?
yeah.
What?
Well,
the-"
you have to like
well, 'cause
fumble them.
you have to. It's this. It's you have to do the most ridiculous.
It's true. It's true. You have to almost break them in your
You have
palm of
to
your hand.
break your own glasses in your hand. Like that should have been what he did instead of just crush them or just mouth agape at the dinosaur.
And then he's like, "Fuck, those are prescription. They were
Yeah,
so
yeah,
expensive."
Oh, that's so
Yeah, yeah.
funny.
But fortunately, I only do it now when I see a dog.
Ooh, I caught it, brother.
Look at that.
That was friendship.
That's friendship right there.
Oh, that was so funny. Well, do you want to go?
Should we?
Yeah. Let's.
Are we ready?
Yeah, you ready, Doug?
Let's go to the letters. Your Chicago Bulls.
6-6
from North
Carolina.
Is
Wow.
it true that if somebody sends you a letter written in pencil, it goes right in the garbage?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause
We
you
are
know that
pen
person
pals.
was like not really speaking from the heart. They were fixing all their errors as they
Yes.
went.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to let it fly.
But also no confidence in themselves.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't
Now,
wanna read
it
that
might get
letter.
saved for Pencil Buds, which is an offshoot of our podcast.
No.
Which we have not done in a long time.
Yeah. Pencil Buds haven't been around for a while.
They'll be
but
back.
You'll be back. They'll be
Pencil
back.
Buds is only for people who hate alliteration.
Yeah. We try. We write for everybody. We do it for everybody.
Dude, we could do a hybrid weed pen pal show with you. You still call it Pencil Buds.
Yeah.
Right?
Pencil
I
buds.
mean, it's
Yeah.
smart to write in pencil if you're high.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Probably the way to go.
Yeah.
Are you reading this?
Yeah. I am.
Okay.
Let me just.
Oh, now you're going? Because I already went.
Well, mine fell later. You know how these things are. Dear Ran and Dory. Kind of right.
But more wrong.
I'll take the R.
See, that's the thing.
I'll take the R.
Okay. I'd have gone Dory and ran.
I am not a food person. I grew up a very picky eater and didn't really start branching out or trying new foods until my early 20s. While I do love a good pizza and some authentic Mexican street tacos, outside of that, I largely see food as fuel and mostly want to get it over with so I can get on with my day. Now I know how you both feel about food. So
And
before
Doug,
you
too.
write me off as a sociopath, please know that my wife is very much the opposite in this regard and gets excited for her meals. I get enough shit about this from her already.
Well, why
Already-
did you write
Already
us?
playing defense in
Yeah.
the first paragraph. Eating food is a necessity, just like sleep, using the bathroom, and having sex. Who decided that eating was something that should be done with others? People need sleep, but do they ever get their 8 hours with 3, 4, 3, 5, or 12 other people around? People need to use the bathroom, but does anyone schedule time to crap with several of their friends? And I know it's a thing, but it's not that common to get together with a half dozen of your friends for some sex on a regular basis either. We do that all the time.
Yeah.
If you think about it, isn't it kind of gross watching others around the table chewing and wiping their mouths, licking their lips and cleaning their teeth with their tongues? Conversation, saliva mist floating all around the table. There are bathrooms and bedrooms, yet no food rooms. Dining rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think some treat eating as an event and to others it is largely just a basic need? Who decided that dining needed to be a shared activity? Wishing you both well. Matt, I don't think it was ever included their name.
We went all the
age.
way.
Matt, 46, Silver Spring, Maryland.
With Larry King all of a sudden.
P.S. I absolutely love your show. Thank you.
Okay.
Matt, 46.
Now, here's what I love about the fact that we're reading this letter with Doug being here. Because Doug spurned an ascension in food eating for me because of Michael Muser. You first cultivated that relationship. You
Doug is just learning of his powers right now.
You spread that relationship and friendship to
Sure.
Rory and myself with Muser. And now, because of your love of food and your relationship to him, we have all eaten some of the best food in the world prepared by one of the greatest chefs in the world and one of the best hospitality people in the world, Michael Muser.
Yeah.
So
You've been to the new spot?
Yeah, it's great.
Yes.
Just went.
Yeah. And so I feel like that's why I'm a long way of saying that's why I'm so glad you're here, because you also love the ceremony of great food and a good dinner.
Yeah, I do. I mean, this guy.
Matt, 46?
No, the
Silver Spring, Maryland.
Muser. Michael Muser reached out. Somehow we connected,
2016,
and I know how I got excited. It's because I was a fan of the movie about the
Grace.
restaurant Grace.
Yeah.
And so that's sort of how we connected. And he's a fan of comedy, so he's like, "Yeah, come by anytime you want." And I've had his amazing food at two different restaurants now, maybe 5 or 6 times, 6 times. But to make you two feel even better, if I may, he said, "Any comedian friend of yours you want for me to hook up at this restaurant, just let me know." And I haven't told shit all. You are the only 2 people that have been able to take advantage of that wonderful offer he made. Because I don't want to be bothering him all the time with
Right.
because who
'Cause also
knows
it's
how they're
not
going to
cheap.
behave when they get there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
like-
the deal too.
It's a quiet
It's also
spot.
not. It's not
It's
like.
not a comedian spot. You don't go in there.
It's
to
also
crack
not like
your
a
jokes.
$25 bowl of nice pasta. It's like no, it's a lot.
Yeah,
It's
and they'll give you the
it's a
full
show.
wine. Do you do the wine pairings?
Yes.
You know what? My wife and I just did the wine pairing and the juice pairing. Have you ever done the
Oh,
juice pairing?
no.
The juice pairing is
I
incredible.
bet it is.
All non-alcoholic like juices, teas that they also like pair with the food.
Whoa.
And we
But then
tried
you're
both.
so
and it was
full at the end,
You're
though.
so full. You're so full.
All that liquid's unnecessary.
Our table was just a line of wine going this way and juice going that
Yeah.
way. We'd be like, hey, give me the apricot one again. Let me see what that was like.
And you meet people like him and Chef Duffy and the chef Justin Selk, who's also there as well. And you're like, oh, this is a whole nother level of food.
Yeah.
Of like food preparation and food eating and dining and like the events and things that they do.
Yeah.
That for me, and this was great. I hope I would love to have this mentality, but you didn't have to twist my arm much when you were like, hey, when we get there, you just eat whatever they bring. I don't care what it looks like. I don't
Yeah,
care if you don't
of
know what
course.
it is. You just eat it. And it really, going into that mentality, it opens up your palate to like all these things. And also, to go back to the letter, it is, I remember you telling me, dude, when they pour your water, they're going to pour my water at the same time. And if I need less water than you, the people are still going to finish pouring at the exact same time. It's all choreographed, and it's an experience that you share. And I
Yeah.
think, yes, we've all had, like, let me make a quick fucking piece of toast on my way out the door. And
Yeah.
that is just fuel to get something to eat. But at its best, I think it's, you have a podcast around this, too.
Why?
I did, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I mean,
dining with Doug and Karen.
I think what we're talking about in terms of not the broad scope of just this question, but in terms of what we're talking about, I mean, that literally is theater. You're going to
Yes.
a different version of theater where you go, yes, in the show is this thing you get to digest and you get to, but you take in the ambiance, you take in how you're greeted, you take in what the lighting looks
Everything.
like, you take in the entire, what the bathrooms look like. I mean, he has Matthew McConaughey reading his own book on the loudspeaker or on the
that could
overhead
be
in the
troublesome.
bathroom.
Depending on what passage he's.
I think I went to the bathroom twice and I got both versions where I was like, I don't know if I'd play that. And then another one
Yeah.
was like, oh, this is kind of neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's strange no matter what Matthew McConaughey is saying to have to listen to it the whole time you're in the bathroom. But what I experienced the last time I was there really blew my mind, and that's some businessmen who were there to have a dinner together were sitting nearby us.
This is at Ever. We haven't said.
Yeah, it's called Ever in Chicago. And some businessmen were sitting there, and they're so rich and so used to eating at Michelin star restaurants
Yeah.
that they had a normal conversation the whole time. And when the food would come, they'd listen to the description, and then they'd start eating it, and nobody would say, "Oh, this is good," or "I like this."
yeah,
about-"
yeah,
They
yeah.
wouldn't talk about the food.
Right, they
It was
didn't
driving
care.
me crazy.
A
That's
wildly
all you
different
should be
experience.
talking about
Yes.
the entire time
Yes.
you're there.
Yeah.
Is this amazing food? That's like going on a roller coaster and chatting about. Now, listen, on Monday, I know we're going down this steep drop right
I've
now,
been
but
on
on
so many
Monday,
of
I
these.
need those
Yeah.
papers by 5 o'clock, or we're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
You know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Guy
That
who's
was
always
everyone
riding a roller coaster with his assistant. I need those done. I need those printed.
making a call.
Yeah, and then some of it, they'd bring these amazing things, and then you'd be like, okay. So as we were saying,
Right,
you
yeah.
know, we have to have a meeting with so-and-so,
No,
and it's
get
just like,
into it.
oh,
I-
come on.
I think in the broad scope of this, the debate of this, of dining with others, I couldn't tell you what it is, but I don't think it is just something that someone decided was a thing that we do. I think the moment that humanity discovered fire, I don't think anyone said, "Oh, we should all be impressed by this and get around it and look at it." Like it is now 2022, and when someone has a fire pit, you find yourself sitting a few feet away or whatever, and you can't stop staring. Even now, you're still blown away by just sitting in a fire. And if you're there with the right people, you still mentally go, "Oh, this is so pleasant and nice." And I don't think dining is any different. I think the communal act of having a meal together is the natural instinct. I think we evolved into having this natural instinct that you just go, well, yeah, you eat alone, sure, and maybe you enjoy that. Maybe you actually don't. I would say this person just doesn't enjoy that dining experience, but I would say a large percentage, the majority, there's just something about the communal act of having a meal together, and it isn't necessarily the meal we're talking about ever. It's going to Burger King and like, hey, you want to run to Burger King together? You want to grab a
Dairy
bite
Queen.
together? Go to Dairy Queen
There are
together.
people that won't eat alone. That just like will go out of their way to figure out a way to eat with
To
other
eat
people.
with other people.
And then
Yeah.
that's the great thing about restaurants is even if you do
bar.
go alone, there's probably other people there.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
and there's
Yes.
things to look at and think about because, you know, if it isn't like a 5-star dining experience, if it is just fuel, then you might as well be multitasking in some way
Yeah.
Right.
instead of just fueling up. But that's why I think this guy eats alone a lot.
Yeah.
And that's why he thinks that it's a fuel thing.
You're talking about Matt
More
46.
more than
I don't-
a communal
And,
thing.
and I don't want to. I hope this didn't come off in any sort of harsh, judgmental way. But if a person told me I only like, I only see the need to eat alone. I tend to only eat alone. I don't want to eat with other people.
It's not even just that. It's that also it's just fuel. So I don't the what
I would,
it is.
but I would say even that like you have a room for this, you have a room for this. We don't have a room for that. Although we have the dining room.
Yeah.
I would say, I think it's a social interaction thing for you, less or more social interaction or not want of social interaction than it is like how you feel about food.
Yeah.
Because if you go way back, like food, to have bread or to have meat, you had to hunt it or fucking grind it down and make it yourself. To share that with other people was a big deal. Like
Yes.
you've rolled into our tribe or our property or whatever. We're going to share. You would never go, we're going to give you some
Breaking
bread,
bread.
and you need to go run into the bread room and eat that by yourself. Like we're going to share that
Yeah.
together. Also, in medieval times, it was a way to signify that you were a guest and you were safe. That if we ate together, I am safe in your home. And obviously you're not poisoning your food because we're sharing the exact same food in the exact. And I think that just over time morphed into a social
It's
way
cultural.
to show affinity for
Yeah.
another person. We
Yeah.
eat together.
I think
It's in us. It's innate. Like
Yeah.
like
Yes.
like the way dogs share spaghetti.
Yes. You're right from that doc. Yeah,
Ladies
yeah,
and
yeah.
gentlemen, his name is Doug Benson.
They
He's going
will-
to be here.
They will each get on an end
Yes.
and work their way to the middle. I've only seen it once, but
But it
it feels
happened.
like something that dogs do.
Also, longest noodle. That doesn't get talked about enough. That was a Guinness Book noodle. But also, I think it's not a coincidence that like all cultures perceive a communal dining experience.
Right.
It isn't like you go to like Japan and they're like, what? No, that sounds absurd to
Right.
eat together.
Right.
Or even like to go 1,000 years back to a tribe. That's like, well, no, we all gather and eat, and then we have a ceremony. But I think you're like, it isn't just something that people have. Someone has just said this is a thing that we do.
We
I
should
think there's
celebrate that
something
it's
more
not
innate to it.
mandatory
Yes.
to eat with other people
that-
or
this
to eat
Matt
alone.
46 should
You don't have to
celebrate
do
that. Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't
That's-
have to
that's a
do
great
one or
point,
the
Doug.
other. You
Yeah.
do what you're
Right.
in the mood
And-
for.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes you sit and eat at your desk because you really do want to finish a
Yeah.
project
Yes.
or something. And sometimes you go eat with the bosses because you got to
Yeah.
suck up to them and get a free meal. out
But
of
the
them.
counter to that, and you just made me think of this, in some cultures and families, if it's Sunday night, we are all sitting, you better be at dinner.
Yeah.
And so there is like times where it's like, no, we do that. But you're totally right. It's the thing you're saying where you're, if you want to eat by yourself, eat by yourself. I think some people just process. There are people who would like, well, why would I ever wear shoes that slip? Like, I'm always going to wear good traction shoes. That's what we have available. Like, they don't think, well, sometimes you want to wear something fancy or something nice. It's like,
Agreed, yeah.
but some people just feel a certain way. Like, well, I don't care about eating food with other people.
Yeah.
Then you don't ever have to do
But also
it. But it's not your exception to that rule isn't going to change culture
Yes.
because that's how you feel.
But y'all can also look at it. I mean, yes, there's no one that's going to debate that eating food is a necessity. But if you truly just view it that way, where you go, well, eating food is a necessity, then do you mean to tell me that all three of your meals are the same every single day of your life because you view it as a necessity? Or
Right.
do you view it as, well, no, if I have the luxury of being able to mix it up and change it up, well, why? Why would you do that? Because you have taste buds? Because you have, because the experience can be something else? Because if it's just for fuel, then just eat a Cliff Bar every time you sit down to eat
Right.
anything. But
Right.
instead, you go, well, no, I can mix it up and I have pasta for dinner. I have this for breakfast. I have this for lunch. That the variation of what you want to eat and the reason why you want to eat it is the same reason I think there's a variation of dining with others. Yes, when someone chews with their mouth
That's what I was
open,
going to
when
ask you.
someone talks
Is it
while they're
gross? When he
chewing.
says in the letter, is it kind of gross? Do you
It
think?
is, but you also don't have to stare at the other person's mouth.
Yes.
You got your own food.
Right.
Yes.
You're in an environment of some kind.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like you just have to watch somebody eat. But yeah,
I almost
eating
want to
can be
force
gross.
Matt 46 to come with the three of us to Ever and be like, you're going to sit there and you're going to
gonna
enjoy
like it."
this. And when they bring the wine and it gets a little too much after the sixth thing, you're going to keep going. You're getting drunk tonight.
But also, we we went out to dinner with a couple of people. We had this gorgeous outdoor patio, and the process, Roar, of even a couple of people who I'd never met before,
Yeah.
being like communally reaching for the nachos and being like, "Hey, man, you only got one of those wings. Grab some more of these," and stuff like that. It creates community,
Yes.
and I think I don't remember watching anyone eat other than Jay Larson because it's a whole ordeal.
I know. He's
But-
so picky.
I know. He's like, "Can I take this off?" I'm like, "It's breading."
Can I get it without this? It's
Right.
already made.
Right. It's already made. But I think that's the communal part. But if you're a person who says, it doesn't do anything for me, I don't care. Well, like Doug said, well, good thing you don't have to.
Yeah.
It's an
yeah.
interesting life to
Yeah.
not want to ever eat with other people. Like, it just seems like you spend too much time waiting for everyone else to finish eating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what kind of relationships do you have where those people, you'd have to find somebody else that just wants to eat a Cliff Bar on the go or
Do
whatever.
you?
I love that he says I get enough shit about this from already. He's already, look, I've already heard it all.
I
feel
I don't
bad
know
for his
why I'm
wife.
writing this letter.
Just right now, like knowing I haven't had lunch yet, I'm excited about what that might be. So that's eating by myself, knowing I'm going to grab something. I'm like, what can that thing be that I grab? And then my brain goes, what level of healthy am I trying to get to? But if my wife said we're going out with friends for dinner tonight, I'm like, I don't know. She doesn't even have to tell me who or where. I'm already just kind of a little excited to be like, oh yeah, that's usually 90% of the time, that's a fun thing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, meals for me throughout the day are when one is done. Unless I stuff myself and feel like not eating
Sure.
for a while. As long as I eat responsibly, then as soon as it's done, it's like, what's the next one gonna be? And it's the same
Which
way
is
with
humanity.
and
That's
it's the same way
nature.
with just all the pockets of my life. Like when I'm done watching a movie, what movie am I gonna watch next?
Yeah.
And looking forward to it, and the fact that when you're choosing what you're eating, 90% of the time you're going to have a good meal.
Right, yeah.
Every once in a while, somebody
Right.
messes
Throws a
something
curveball
up.
at you.
Yeah.
Something goes wrong.
Can
but
I-
for the most part, if
Oh,
you,
you guys-
you decide what you want to eat and then you go eat it, it's going to be good.
But
You're
Doug,
going to like it.
what's the place that we like in San Francisco? The Steak 37 or Cut 22? It went away.
They're gone.
They didn't make it.
make it through
But
COVID.
what did they have?
Cut 86, dude.
Yeah.
We would get excited. Was it bacon bread?
Yeah, they'd have little pieces of bacon in the bread that they,
And we would
the
be,
free
and we
bread
had a
that they
show
give
to
you.
do,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
we're like, hey,
But
we're
you
gonna go
didn't
get,
care.
we're gonna go get some of that bacon, and
Yeah.
it's just, it feels good.
Do you have this, or did you ever have this? A little bit of this, I think it's a disease because of Yelp and all these things where when you go on the road, you don't just want to get a coffee. You want to find, well, what's the really good coffee? I just don't want to go to a diner. What's like the place?
Yeah.
And it almost fucks up your schedule for the day because you go, I just spent an hour not settling on a sandwich place. And then part of you's like, I just want to walk outside the hotel and just go to the first place I see. But then your brain goes, but what if later that night people are like, you didn't go to Mark's
Yeah.
Submarines?
Somebody's always got, like, this guy would hate going on the road as a public figure
Yeah, totally.
because you can't go to a city,
Yeah.
whether you ask or
He
not,
wouldn't leave his
without
hotel.
people telling you where to eat.
Right.
I know.
And it's a lot of, you gotta eat
You
at
gotta.
this place.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, I gotta take an Uber 40
You
miles.
gotta get these pancakes. You gotta get this barbecue. You gotta have this steak. You gotta have these drinks. You gotta
Yeah.
have this
The
coffee.
best,
We did that in
everybody
Moon
knows
Tower.
where
Yeah.
the best whatever it is, best pizza, best barbecue, whatever it is, they know where the best place
Yeah.
is.
And no one's ever it's never you might or you could. It's always you have.
You got it.
You have to.
And I kind of get it because
Don't
I do
call
too.
yourself a food eater.
Even being in Austin, I was like, oh, I'm here in Austin for Moon Tower. Like, you remember right when we got there, I was like, I got to eat something. Like, let's get some tacos. And I almost couldn't settle to just get tacos. Like, even when we said, well, this place is good, I was even like looking at it. I was like, yeah, but places that put posters like that up in the window, I don't like the presentation of this. And then the tacos were great. But in my mind, I go, but I'm not going to be back to Austin for a really long time. And because of that, I almost can't just go fucking eat
It's the
something.
same, but we say when we did
knowing
barbecue.
it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be good.
We know so many people that weekend who went, like you were saying, 40 miles so far to get what I'm sure is fantastic barbecue. But I was like, no, dude, the place I like to go is just right over here. And we went,
just,
and you
also good.
and you were like, this is great. And you were like, I'm eating more than I didn't even know I was gonna eat.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, it's really good.
Yes.
But people are like, you gotta go way out. And I'm sure that if you go way out there, I'm sure it is wonderful.
I mean, they
Right.
got barbecue in Austin where they're only open for a few hours a day. You have to make a reservation
Franklin.
months in advance.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
shit like that. It's like, come on.
Yeah,
I mean,
there is an
I'm
overdoing
sure it's
it.
great,
There's
but
an
you know,
overdoing
but
it.
also like I've never had any barbecue
Yeah.
anywhere that was like, oh, this is the one.
Right. Yeah.
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 It's barbecue.
Right.
It's always delicious.
Right.
Yeah, because we went to
Like,
what?
they're like, oh, this
Cooper's,
barbecue.
Cooper's,
So
and
fucking
honestly, you had like turkey, and I was like, this is the best turkey I've ever had. I'm almost
It's
like, I don't
so
even want to get
fucking
like
good.
the pork
Yeah.
or the thing that like you got to have this. I would be like, honestly, just give me some of that bread and that turkey and the sauce. That'll
Oh
be
my God.
good for a
little
long
bit of
time.
cobbler.
Yeah,
I like how this gentleman
Matt 46.
Swing,
when he
Silver
does
Swing
when he
Maryland?
does break down and admit that there's a couple of foods he likes, one of them from a guy who doesn't like anything, he's insisting on authentic street tacos.
I love a good pizza. I love good pizza. Not bad.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
good
That's
pizza.
a debate.
I
that
do love a
every-
good pizza and some
whichever
authentic
coast you're
Mexican
on, you
street
think
tacos.
is
Confession, guys,
the best pizza.
I did not eat Chinese food until I got to college. And I just I didn't like it. I never had
Yeah.
it. Same with most Mexican food. I remember being a little kid and we'd go to Chi-Chi's.
Yep.
And we'd go to Chi-Chi's and I would get the burger. And
Yeah.
my mom was like, try this.
I know.
But now
But when you aren't raised
I'll eat
that way,
anything.
I'm the same. But the only
you
reason
think
I
our
think
palates
I've
from where we
changed-
were raised was very...
I think so because
Yeah.
the way I was raised, it wasn't like this adventurous eating. I mean, we would get Taco Bell and we'd be like, we had Mexican tonight. You know, like we would think it.
Oh, we
But
would have taco salad. It's just crunched up
Yeah.
Doritos and iceberg lettuce
Yeah.
with cheese, or like
It really wasn't until I moved
7-layer
to
dip.
DC.
That's about it.
where
7-layer
there was
salad.
like more, of a culture. There's other cultures there.
Yeah.
There's places where you can go and have Ethiopian food and actually have it. You can actually have authentic Mexican.
I didn't have Indian food until like 3 years ago.
I'm in that same boat. I didn't really
And I love
start
it.
experimenting even more so till not even that long ago. And it's because like you are like in some ways traumatized. Sounds like aggressive, but there's a little bit of trauma of being like, well, no, don't try sushi.
Yeah.
And then you're like, as a kid, you go, oh, well, then I won't. And
Mm-hmm.
then someone has to go, you will like it. And you're like, but it's always been in my brain.
Yeah,
that
my
I
friends
won't
would always
like it.
go, and every once in a while get sick and be like, "Oh, I had bad sushi," and I would be like, "Why take that risk? Why eat anything that might be bad enough to make you sick to your
Right,
stomach?"
right.
But then once I dove in and tried it, now I
You're
love
like,
it.
oh,
You know,
yeah.
of course,
Yeah.
I'm super.
And then
into
you
it.
go, it's worth that one bad time.
Well, I've
every
never
now
had a
and
bad
then.
time.
I
You're
haven't
right,
either.
I've lucked
Right, 'cause
out
you
because it's
also
also
know-
gotten better in
Right,
time.
yes.
Like one major shift in society that I'm eternally grateful for that happened when I was a kid was when Burger King suddenly just went, you know how we're going to blow out we're going to blow out McDonald's and everybody else? Have it your way.
Yeah.
McDonald's was so rigid and so like had to put their
is
sauce
what
and
it
their
is.
pickle on every burger that it would drive my dad crazy that I liked plain cheeseburgers as a kid and refused to eat ones that had stuff on them.
Yeah.
Because asking for stuff plain used to be such an ordeal.
Yeah.
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 And
yeah.
then Burger King came along and blew it wide open with
Have
have
it
it
your
your
way.
way.
Yeah.
Why are we arguing with you about what the food's going to be like?
Right.
If we don't have to put a pickle on it,
We
that's
save
money
the
we
pickle,
save.
yes.
We save that pickle and get that money
Yeah.
for that pickle.
Favorite thing at Burger King if you went right now?
I'm all about fast food breakfast, so in the case of
Do
Burger
they do the
King, I'd
croissant?
probably get a croissant which
Aren't there we've said that.
those
I
are
think
so, they're so
that's the
soft
best
and
croissant
good.
which you have. If you got, I went to a deli and they had a fresh croissant and they put all the stuff on it. You go, it's not as good as a
No,
croissant.
no,
There's
the
something about the
Burger
croissant
King,
which-
they inject it with some evil nonsense that makes it absolutely perfect.
French toast sticks. You doing French toast sticks?
I'll do
Never- I've
those.
never
I'll
had
do
those
them,
in
but
my
those will
life.
come out bad. Those will come out like
They don't usually, yeah.
weird. They'll
Right.
come
When
out
they
like
first started-
too chewy or something.
When that first started, what about McGriddle at McDonald's?
Oh, McGriddle is like, I had like 10 minutes of
Never
it.
had
My
one.
stand up, I loved it so much.
Yeah.
Like I could not stop
never eaten
talking
one.
about it.
Hash brown at McDonald's.
Good, but I really like the potato cakes at Arby's,
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
which they
Ooh.
just eliminated. They took off the menu to make room for yet a fourth or fifth kind of curly fry. That is legitimate. The
Bigger
legit
radius.
reason
Doug,
that
this
they
is
got
what you
rid
need
of
to talk
potato
about
cakes.
this on stage. I swear to God, this is so funny.
Oh, I have talked about it. I also talk
have
a
you
lot
not
about
had
how I
the-
don't like horsey sauce.
Did you finally
Ooh,
have the
I love horse
Fibonacci
fries.
curly fries?
What's your Burger King order?
I was gonna say original chicken
That's it,
sandwich.
baby.
I
Come
mean,
on.
get in there. I made a mistake on set of Physical saying I thought Burger King fries were better than McDonald's fries. I was an outcast for the rest of the season.
Really?
And I was like, look, I'm not saying I don't like McDonald's fries. I really like the Burger King fries with the chicken
You
sandwich.
give me the
and
whole option. I'll probably go Shake Shack.
I'd probably go quarter pounder at McDonald's.
Oh, yeah.
He hadn't had a Big Mac his whole life until 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago.
I still haven't had a Whopper.
Still has never had a Whopper.
Well, I don't think you're missing much there,
To
to be honest. But you should do it. Just to do it.
Yeah, I'm not anti it. I'm never. Well, I'm here.
You've
I've
had
made a
Bojangles.
decision.
Have you had Bojangles on the road? Cajun
No,
filet chicken
no
biscuit.
Jangles.
When you're in the
Doug,
southeast,
you got it. He got
next.
me doing it.
Can
Cajun
I
filet
turn
chicken
you on
biscuit.
to a fast food place you might not have tried?
Yeah.
Always.
Have you
Nobody
guys
loves it more than Mark. Is that his name?
Have you been?
Matt
Either of you
46.
been to Jollibee?
I haven't yet, but I
Oh my God,
I know that's what I
You
heard.
get spaghetti
It's
and
so
chicken,
good.
baby.
You get spaghetti and chicken, and they also have a few other
Yeah.
weird items that nothing there belongs
doesn't
with
make
each
Doesn't
other.
sense,
make
but it
any
works.
sense.
And then they have a pineapple drink.
Yeah.
They don't call it pineapple juice, I don't think,
Yeah.
but it's a pineapple drink that is the best pineapple drink I've ever had.
Dole Whip?
And I kept
Better
going
than a
back.
Disney?
Once I went there, I kept going back
Yeah.
mostly for the pineapple because it's not too sweet. It's not sour. It's not acidic.
Yeah.
It like you could chug it,
Ooh.
and it's pineapple. And
It's
it
better
tastes
than
like
a Dole
pineapple.
Whip.
What do you get when you
from
go?
Disney.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's just perfect.
If I go to Jollibee today for the first time, what am I getting?
You get a couple of pieces of chicken, like
Yeah.
a thigh and a leg, and
Yeah.
then a pile of spaghetti.
So it's like one of those places that like we have a lot. It's like a Greek diner
No,
menu.
it's
It's like if a
That's fast-
child got to
Filipino, right,
say,
Liz?
"This is what I want for lunch, Mother. I want spaghetti and chicken." She's like, "You're gonna have to pick. I'm not making chicken and
Yes,
spaghetti."
you'll make both.
Listed
Those
in
are two
Aristotle
different
tells
dishes,
us
My
so
name's
Filipino.
Timothy
It's a
Jolly.
Filipino company, and I
Yeah.
always say it's like what they think Americans want their fast food restaurant to
And
be.
Doug just proved that it is what
No,
we
but
want.
yeah,
our
people
fast
love
food
it.
to be.
It's so good because like you could just any two people could walk in there with a totally different. It's not like Taco Bell where
Sure,
you're getting
yeah,
tacos
yeah.
and
Yeah.
taco
And bells,
related
yeah.
items.
Can I
you
throw
know, like
something
it's
out
the
there?
same thing in every item. It's just got a different name.
I've always wondered this. Like, if you have a really great Mexican restaurant, why not do a thing where you go, hey, you know how Taco Bell's stuff isn't even actual, like
Right,
the
right,
Crunchito wrap?
right,
like,
right.
that's not a thing.
Right.
Be like, yeah, we make Taco Bell food, but
If
we do
it
it with
was
fresh
real.
ingredients. Wouldn't you go, oh my God, great. I'll
Yeah.
get all the stuff
would,
I get at
I
Taco
would.
Bell. But now it's like real tomatoes. It's real meat. It's real
Yeah.
sauce. It's real. You would go, I will eat here all the time. I'll get my Taco Bell high from here.
I would do that.
Every fancy restaurateur or chef I've ever met loves crappy fast food.
Yeah. Because it's so the opposite.
They love
Really?
it. They know which things they like.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mooser's that way.
I've heard
he
that a
loves
lot.
Oh, I
Taco
believe
Bell
that.
and stuff
I've heard
like
it a
that.
lot.
Yeah,
I think it's because it's such the other end of the spectrum that you just end up.
yeah,
loving it.
and it's also
It's like
still,
comics being like, I love really dramatic movies. It's like, yeah, of course.
It's like candy. Like candy's always good. It's not. You might not always want candy.
Right? Yeah.
But candy always delivers. You're
Yeah.
never like, oh shit, this.
Matt 46,
Silver Spring,
we
Maryland.
hope that we've inspired you at all to try more dining with other people or some fine dining by yourself. Either way, at some point we're gonna figure out how to rope you. We'll do a live pen pal somewhere, and we will make you have to eat with us during the show. But thank you so much for this letter. We wish you well. Sincerely, your pen pals, Rory Scovel.
Daniel Van Kirk and
Doug Benson.
And
We're
are back,
back,
folks. Here it is.
hey, you know what we haven't said in a while, and I'm
What?
sure people could figure it out.
Yeah.
But this was handed to you. We'll dig into that in a second.
That's right.
The other way, so come to a show and give us
Come
a
to a
letter.
show and hand me a tiny letter.
Or
my favorite.
email us, thepenpalspod@gmail.com, or snail mail us,
Yeah.
care of the Pen Pals Podcast, 5419 Hollywood Boulevard, Suite C, number 121, Los Angeles, California, 90027. I love a good snail mails.
Yeah.
You want to look at it?
I'm just gonna do a little bit with it. This is a tiny awards show.
And the winner,
And the winner is Peter Dinklage.
the winner is Stuart Little.
That tracked
And
too.
a mouse just comes up.
Roar, plug.
Yes.
Tell people where to find your ass.
I am at. I'm on the internet, guys.
Do you think when this drops?
Physical
Wait,
season
what
2
date
is
is
on
this?
Apple TV Plus.
Do you
July.
know what today is?
What?
Is this technically our 4-year anniversary?
Not our 4-year anniversary. That's next week, technically.
I'm that far as a 8-year anniversary.
Well,
Rory.
20 years, Rory.
Yeah, Rory, we're doing 20
Only
years.
feels
You-
like 4.
Oh, it feels like 4.
This is our 200th episode.
Is that right?
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
No way.
This
I refuse to accept it.
Is
No
our-
fucking way.
I'm going to
dude.
go home and watch Bicentennial Man.
Yeah.
In honor. You do think
4
about what
times.
movie I'm going to watch next.
Yeah. This is our 200th episode.
That's insane.
Doug, you're here for that.
Look, I got a tiny envelope in my pocket.
Ooh. Little pen paler.
Apple TV Plus, Physical Season 2. Check it out. Watch it. We're a month in now, so that's probably 4 episodes. And then I've got some dates in Vermont, in Burlington, and then in Madison, Wisconsin so far. I'm going to be in a festival in Tulsa at the end of August, so check that out
Wow.
also. So, yeah.
Back on the road.
Yeah, getting back out there, really getting back in it.
Speaking
Tulsa would
of,
be nice and breezy and cool that time of year.
That
Yeah,
humid.
yeah.
Nice.
Oh my
humid.
God.
go to danielvankirk.com if you want to come see me. You can do that in August. All those dates should be announced by the time this drops. And I bet if you go back to the commercial portion of this episode, you'll be able to hear exactly where and when I'm going to be.
That's exactly right.
If you come out to a show, bring a letter, bring a little postcard, or bring a Dumb People Town headline if you're a fan of that show, because I kick off the show by letting people read a couple of those, and then we goof around together, and then the show kicks off. I come back out later into an hour. Everything's at danielvankirk.com. Doug, where can people hang out with you?
DougLovesMovies.com.
Yeah, that was DougLovesMovies.com. Yeah. What's the next part?
Kaka.
Okay. Can I see if I can do it?
I never do it. I just sit and listen to the audience do it.
Let me see if I. How does it go?
I'm not good at it.
Kaka! Is that how the guy sounds?
Kaka!
Oh, okay, I'm not familiar.
And then Kaka Wallet is in there. Ted Danson.
Yeah. Wait. Did somebody ever guess? Doug was doing a thing. He has a
Yes,
name of an actress
they did.
in his wallet. If you guess that person for Last Man Standing, one of his most fun games that he plays, you win the money. You win money. It was like a pot.
His money, I put $20 in every time, and it got up to like several $100s.
Who won it?
Because it also, the pandemic came in the middle of it. So like there was a long period where I just had this name written down in my wallet. And finally in Sacramento.
In Gaio?
Well, it's an audience member.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, yeah.
That says it and wins. A lady in the audience, like, she figured out the puzzle because the name was Amy Adams, and the reason I picked Amy Adams is I felt like no one will say it because of the time an audience member yelled out Amy Adams during a game, and that was the correct answer, and it ruined my game, so I got mad at the person in the audience, and that happened in Sacramento at the Punchline.
What a redemption!
So it finally,
And it was that woman.
That day, I just kept saying, if somebody doesn't get it today, I just don't know what to do anymore, because people just kept guessing the same. It's like they wouldn't even listen to the show. They'd keep saying the same people over and over again, and not going back to Amy Adams, because they just kind of instinctually knew that was something they shouldn't say to me.
If you just started alphabetically popular, you would have got. She should have been off the bat.
It was crazy. I mean, when she said it was bedlam. The place went insane because I knocked the microphone over and started running around the room.
Oh, that's so great.
And
Of course.
it was, and then I counted out the money into her hand like like Chuck
prices.
Woolery used to do
Yeah,
on
yeah, yeah,
on
that's right.
Scrabble. He'd count out the money.
Yeah.
And so she got like, I think it was up to like $400 or something.
That's
some crazy thing.
And
It only cost me $20 per show I do.
right.
So it didn't. It felt
didn't
weird
felt-
that it was growing to such a big amount that I had to give away. But it was.
It gets
you know,
higher than
it was
the
only
lottery.
20 it was.
I guess it's up to like 4.5 million right now with Doug's
Yeah,
thing.
and people. Well, but that's the thing. Also, is there was this intenseness in the room where people want to guess and they want to be right because they want that money.
Yeah.
So like every time they guess,
Would you
and
do
be
that
wrong,
again ever?
I don't think
It was
so.
so much
I don't
fun.
think so. It just really.
So much anxiety.
It was just like I just kept thinking, when is somebody gonna say this?
You
this
end up like
dumb
Walter
name.
White. You're like, what am I gonna do with
Yeah.
this money?
Because I also don't hate Amy Adams as a
course.
result of all
Yeah.
of it. It was just funny to me how it just went on and on. People not saying
Yeah.
the right name.
So DougLovesMovies.com. Is there any shows?
Oh, I was gonna say, if we're talking August,
Sure, or July. This comes out July 6th.
I'm gonna be at the legendary rock club in Seattle called the Crocodile.
Yeah.
Has
Love
like a
the
comedy
Crocodile.
room
Yep.
now
Yep.
called
Mhm.
Hereafter or something like that, which sounds like we're all dead doing a show. But whatever it's called, it's at the Crocodile, and I'll be there for a couple days, August 20 and 21,
Love it.
doing both a stand-up and
Nice.
a Doug Loves Movies.
And hopefully
Which
we'll...
I hope to get Ken Jennings to be on because
Yeah.
he lives in Seattle. So
Yeah, I did it with him
so
once
every
there.
time I
It was me
roll
and him.
through Seattle, I call him up and go, "You want to come be on my dumb?" I was there when he won the GOAT championship.
Yeah.
Like I was in the audience.
Really?
Me and Alicia were in the audience. Yeah, because he doesn't have friends in L.A. Really. You know, he kind of does.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
he's got some show business friends now, but he didn't have any friends in L.A. So like just being on his list of people sitting in the audience
Yeah,
rooting him
the
on
champions of
was easy to
champions
do. He's
thing
like,
like
"Hey, no problem, come on down." And we just, we watched enough shows to watch the point where he, ended up winning the $1 million.
Yeah, yeah.
And we both ran up on stage with all of his relatives and everybody got to run around on stage.
Yeah.
And then they really left us alone for a minute. So I went behind the podium and wrote down fart and took a picture of me standing there like I had written my name was fart. And but Ken Jennings, I can't.
I love
you
that's
can't
what you did with
imagine-
your time.
Yeah, you can't imagine a more. I mean, we got
Of course.
Alex was still there, so we
Yeah.
stood at Alex's podium,
Yeah,
pretending
sure,
to be
yeah,
Alex.
yeah.
Like we got pictures of the whole place, And but Ken Jennings acted like nothing had just happened. Like he
Really?
could not have been more chill.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
About having just won yet another $1 million.
Right, yeah,
Like
yeah.
he was already a millionaire.
Right, yeah.
But then he wins another $1 million. He's crowned the greatest of all time at this game.
Yeah.
And he was just like
Yep.
more relaxed than any of us are right now. We're all
Right.
way more amped
Yeah.
up doing pen pals
Yeah. Yeah.
than
Yeah.
he was winning that.
Oh,
I love it.
We're not going to have him on then because he's got to
Never.
ramp it up.
We'll
if he's
never
gonna-
have
I
him
mean,
on.
I'll reach out for you if you want.
That would be
Do you
so
know
much
Michael
fun.
Keaton personally, by any chance?
I don't. I've
We're trying to get Michael
I've
Keaton
never
on the
met
show.
him, but I hear he likes gum.
Wouldn't you love? Here's the idea, Rory. Yeah.
I hear you could get him with a good
Here's
slice
the-
of gum.
Here's the idea.
He always looks like he's chewing gum,
Yeah.
even when he's not.
I know.
And it looks cool.
And it
does
looks
look
very
It
cool.
does. It's
But
like
I love
Watson's Burt Reynolds.
I know.
As he pulled off the constantly chewing his
Yeah.
cud.
I can't let this
look.
go, Rory. Doug has a very great, long-running movie podcast, and you just said if you have access to get him on a show, can it be ours,
Yeah.
not his own?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Thanks, Doug. If you can make that happen.
I don't
If
think
Doug,
I
if
think Michael
Doug is
Keaton would be
friends,
better
if
at this
Doug was
show.
like, I actually know Michael Keaton, he's already been on his show. Then.
That's true. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. You're right.
hope so.
All right, you want to do a letter?
Let's
do the letter.
This one's a quick, easy breezy.
Okay, ready?
Oh, okay.
Lords. Oh, we're Lords, by the way. Somebody bought us land in Scotland.
He knows.
Oh, okay.
He reads our blog.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Hey, you've probably heard every
He reads
episode.
penpalsblogspot.com.
Yeah. Okay, Lords, you have to live in another country for a year and then perform stand-up in that country, their language. Where are you going? Your pal, Chelsea. Here's the rules on the back.
Okay.
1, it cannot be an English-speaking country where English is the first language. Your families can come with you. P.S. I'm going to Argentina or Mexico and getting into telenovela or Spain. P.P.S. This is very tiny. Actually gold-plated stationery from Florence, Italy.
Yeah.
It's technically not stationery, but... Oh, no, there's a name on it, so I guess it is. But that is gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's truly
You
beautiful.
consider that stationery?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Okay.
they call it
It just gets better and better.
tiny stationery.
Yep, there
fair
you
enough. Okay.
That was given
Doug.
to me at Largo last Friday.
That's right. It was handed to you.
That's right.
Love that.
We love it.
Okay.
This isn't an easy one
200th episode. It's not going to get easy.
because your instincts are like here's my first
Shout out to Emily Cox, by the way, who messaged me and said, "Hey, just so you know, it's your 200th episode."
here's
Credit
my instinct is France
Okay.
and learning how to do it in French
Oh,
because I think I kind of wish I could speak French because it's such a beautiful language.
Tu es un promenade avec moi?
No, French. And so I want to learn it, and I think that would be fun. And also, you're there for a year, so it's like I think I would love to be in like Paris for a year. Sounds so fun.
You've been to Paris.
I've been there for
You
1 week.
You have been to Paris?
never been.
Neither have I.
It's very fun.
I was close enough to go and didn't. That's how into it I am.
You're so anti-Paris.
I'm not anti-Paris as much as I'm just like, I pretty much know what the Eiffel Tower looks like. Like I feel like if I was
Of
there,
Vegas.
if I was
'Cause of
there in
Vegas.
person,
Doug,
yeah,
'cause of
exactly.
Vegas.
If I was there in person with the Eiffel Tower, I'd be like, this is neat that I'm here near the Eiffel Tower. But like, there's not. I don't know. Like, there's things to see and do in
We
Paris.
just talked about food.
But
and
I've
you're
been
in
to
Paris.
But I just like. I would want to spend.
Food.
I just like spending my whole time in London if I'm
You're
in
a
Europe.
food
If I'm in
guy.
Europe,
I've never
I
been to
just
London.
love
Never
London.
been.
I
That's
just love it.
crazy to me how much you love food and you don't want to go to Paris.
I'm not saying I don't want to go to Paris. I'm just saying that if I'm all the way over there, I like. I like being.
burning 2 tickets. Like I had a hotel, I had flights,
I
first
like
class.
being
I
in
got
London.
2
I like
tickets
being
to
in London.
Paris. Burn them.
Burn them now.
Both times I was in London, I was like, "Oh, the channel wouldn't be. I could take it to Paris and pop
London-
in, see
London's
Paris,
fun.
but I just stay in London."
London's fun.
I just
and
love
in
it
terms
so
of being
much.
like, well, I've seen like you get what the Eiffel Tower looks like. I mean, that's like someone being like, I kind of know what the Empire State Building looks like. I don't need to go to New York. And you're like, well, that's not even the thing. It's more the like being.
You're
in
in New
City.
York.
It's
Yeah.
New York City,
And
that's
you
so
love
fun.
New
Yeah.
York.
You
Doug.
would love Paris. I know that.
I know. I would
know that.
I would very much enjoy Paris, but I wouldn't. I know I wouldn't like it as much as London because London has English speaking things that
know.
I can do.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
I like
London is.
I
Fun.
like theater. Like when I'm traveling, I really like theater and music and
Yeah.
stuff that. Music is good though. You could go see some music shows in France, and you
And
wouldn't
see
need
some
to
like
know
French
the language
jazz and
necessarily.
a nice little club at night.
Yeah.
I think I would choose the Netherlands.
Yeah, great.
Great. It's Van Kirk.
Yeah.
So I do have this weird feeling of like wanting to go where my people came from.
Yeah.
And without ever having stepped foot in that culture or that country at all, I just feel like I'd really like it.
Amsterdam's one of my favorite cities, and it's not because of anything drug related at all. It's
Sure.
actually
Right, it's a
because
great city on
it's
top of the
such a
drugs. and the-
exactly. It
yeah.
is like if you eliminate the drug thing, you're like, oh my god, the way this city
At
is
least we
laid
still got
out,
all
it's
this
such a.
prostitution.
I think it might be. Well, I've hardly been anywhere, but so far in my life, it is the greatest walking city I've ever been in, where I'm like, oh,
Really?
this is like you're in a cartoon and you're just walking these canals. And because more people bike than ride cars, the ambient sound is lower. You hear more of like the environment.
It's
I just think
exciting.
it's
You're
great.
always one step away from getting run over by somebody on a bike.
on a bike. You're
Because
very
they
yeah,
tear
you do.
around like crazy. They go so fast.
Yeah,
like,
I will tell you what's
crazier
very
than
strange.
Portland.
8 a.m. when people are on their way to work, you see it looks like people in a business
It's a
casual
race.
bike
Like a
race.
herd.
It's a
It's
race.
like
Yes.
it's like
But everyone's in
like
their
Lion
work
King.
clothes.
It's like
Yeah.
the wildebeest.
Yes, but they're in work clothes.
They've got
so it looks
their-
like you're watching a Monty Python sketch.
Their pant legs are tied up.
Yes, yes. And it
So
looks
they
like a
don't get
sketch.
caught
You're
in
like,
the
I
spokes.
feel like this is a bit that I'm watching someone film.
So I want to ask this though: is there a foreign country you feel like, and maybe this is why you said France, where your comedy would translate? Because that's the thing too. As part of it, you have to do stand up there.
Yeah. Well, so you would learn Dutch. Because you can't do it in English, even
Well,
though
you're saying
even
you
though
can.
you go to
That's the thing.
Netherlands, you go to
That's-
Amsterdam,
You can
and
do
it's
it in
like,
English.
you can
there.
totally do it in
That's
English.
the problem.
In what? In the Netherlands?
Yeah, you go to
Well,
Amsterdam.
I've performed there.
You don't have to
Didn't-
make any
didn't
effort.
worry for a second about
Not
not,
even
speaking the language.
Not even slightly.
Yeah.
They're like, we know what you're talking about. And we can understand you clearly.
Because of Boom
Yeah.
Chicago.
The references might not fly.
Yeah, if you
That's
get very
where
specific.
one of the places I performed was at Boom Chicago.
Really?
Where they do English speaking improv for.
And you performed
Dutch
in London.
people all the
Obviously,
time.
I mean it's English speaking, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
performed in London. You performed in London.
Yeah.
Any other foreign countries other
Dublin,
than those two you guys have performed?
London,
Mexico.
Dublin, and I haven't performed in
Australia.
Would you want?
Paris,
You know,
but
there's
Amsterdam.
a documentary. Segura's in it, and Chad Daniels is in it, and Pete Lee is in it as well, where they go to
Norway.
Japan
Oh.
or China and they do stand up.
Yeah.
It's like a documentary from like
Well,
2014.
Segura does,
There's
he
like
does
the
the,
expat stuff
Well, he
you can
does
go do in
bilingual.
China.
he can do Spanish.
Yes,
speaking
he'll do
shows,
Spanish shows.
Yeah.
Which that is just
Have you played
wild
Norway?
to me.
Like Oslo or
No,
Bergen?
no.
Super fun. Oslo was very fun, and I was like shocked at how it was similar to Amsterdam in the sense that they're like, yeah, we speak English. Like you could just do your act. And they're like, yeah, we get
Yeah,
it.
I feel like Germany would be that way too.
Yeah, yeah.
I bet
But
you
even
could just do your
in
act
Montreal,
English.
I've had comics be like, I just don't. My comedy doesn't work here, and I'm like, well, so you're
In Canada?
Yes.
Get the fuck out of here.
You've never heard a comic say that
That's
about
insane.
Montreal to you. You've
Sure,
never heard.
but I'm
yes.
saying
Oh,
to
yeah.
them, get the fuck out of here.
Yes, same.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps to be part of an international festival.
Right.
Whenever I'm there.
Yeah.
Because then there's lots of people in the audience that are, speak English.
Sure.
And,
Yeah.
And my guests, like if I do Doug Love's movies there, I feel like it goes over just as well as anywhere else.
Sure.
But it does when you're walking around. It feels so French.
Yes,
Yeah.
You know, even when you go into Tim Hortons, you're like having to figure out like what the words mean and stuff.
Right.
You know,
Bonjour, like put it away.
Roar.
Put it away.
Roar.
It's so like, well, we want to be friends. Like, you know what? No one else. The thing is, when you talk to other Canadians and you go, yeah, but you know, is there a pride in the maintaining the French? And even they're like, who gives a shit?
not
You're
in
like, well, you're
Montreal.
Canadian. You're allowed to talk about it.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
American, so if I show up, they're like, oh, that's because you're from America. It's like, other Canadians are like, come on, get out of here.
What about Greece? Have you guys been to Greece?
No, I would love that.
I wonder too. I wonder if I would love it there.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of John Travolta.
You know Des
Son
Bishop.
of a bitch.
You know Des Bishop? You guys know Des Bishop?
Yeah. Well,
Went to
through
China.
Hannah.
Went to
I've
China
never
and
met him.
learned
but-
Mandarin and like did a special in Mandarin. He also in Ireland learned Gaelic and shot a special in Gaelic, which all that blows my mind. That not only do you learn another language, but you wrote an hour-long act in that language that is funny.
Yeah.
I've seen
That's
Des
wild
Bishop
to me.
at the Cellar in New York City and go on stage and he's doing his act and then just starts speaking Mandarin and you obviously the majority of the crowd like quiets down, but then anyone there who speaks Mandarin, they're not even laughing at what he's saying because you can look at their faces and they're like, they can't believe they're seeing a white man speaking Mandarin and like and then like telling jokes. And what he's saying, he told me, he goes, what I'm saying is, hey, we can laugh that no one knows what I'm saying right now except us in this room, and I can openly say it. And you see them all go from shock to being like really laughing and being like, I love this. This is crazy that he's speaking our language and doing his act. And it's all because he did like I think he made a documentary about it too, like learning another language.
Wow.
What
shooting a
about Eddie
special.
Izzard?
Oh my God, yeah.
He's done 7 different languages, I think.
No
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
that
started
guy's
with
a
like French,
genius.
right? I think he did French
I think French
first.
was his gateway.
Yeah.
But I think he's done a bunch of different ones.
But is it just learning how to do your hour in that language or learning the
Yeah.
language? I mean, I guess it's
It's
I
a
don't know.
combination,
A bit of
I
both.
think.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
bet
yeah.
you know, you could do observations about being in that place,
I think once
like
you
we
learn
all
the
do when we
language, you
travel.
then are like, oh, I can get the sentence structure to make this funny.
Yeah, I guess they're not learning the language enough just to say their own jokes. They have
Right.
to really be conversational in it.
Right.
My
yeah,
last
yeah.
little thing, and I'm going to wrap this, is it the PS. I just want your guys' opinion. It says, PS, I'm going to Argentina or Mexico and getting into a telenovela. Does that mean they're in the show? And that's why they're asking us about working somewhere else?
Oh,
Because
I
they're
don't know.
working in a telenovela?
That's
Or
a
do you
soap
think they
opera?
just are...
That's
they're
a soap opera.
They're gonna get
getting
into
it.
one.
They're going to try to watch one, I guess.
Okay, yeah, that's the other way to take it.
That's a
'Cause-
soap opera.
Because wouldn't they
telenovela.
know
Yeah.
where they were going if they were already had plans to be in a telenovela?
Maybe they haven't-
wouldn't narrow it down to
Maybe
2 places
Locations
like that.
hasn't emailed them yet.
Oh yeah, maybe the locations manager needs to
Need
reach
to
out.
let them know.
Tell them what language to learn.
I love this. Thanks so much for sending it in, Chelsea.
Yeah. I love this challenge that I will never accept in any manner.
Me either.
Learning another language is not
Outside of this podcast,
It's not going to happen for me. German,
Unless you-
French,
Doug, you act. You
Spanish.
are an
I
actor.
tried them all
I
in
know.
high school and college.
I know,
and
same.
I could not
I'm
get it.
I'm worse. I tried specifically Spanish that whole time, and I never
Really?
Kept trying it
I'd
with
have to
different
be
instructors and
submerged
stuff.
into the
And then you would
survive
go-
or
I
don't,
bet you'd
and
go
then
quick.
I would learn it.
Maybe you'd go- you'd
I
get
think I would too.
quick.
I think I would.
Doug,
too.
you are an accomplished actor, so you never know. You could book a show that makes you live in a foreign
A
country for
telenovela. You
year.
might get booked on a telenovela.
Even
No,
if
Oh,
I
I'd love
lived in
to
a
see you
foreign
in a
country
band.
for
A
a
Nutella.
year, I would
a
just
telenutella.
get by on as few words as possible.
Yeah.
I believe
Hola, adios.
Chelsea,
He doesn't
thanks.
say a lot.
Thanks
Just
so
hello,
much.
Right?
goodbye.
Even then, I say hello and goodbye like when I'm in Mexico because I'm just like, they think I'm pandering if I say adios.
I have that same apprehension
I
that
wondered
they
the
go,
same thing
shut
too.
I
up. and
just
you're
say
like,
what I
okay.
say.
Yeah.
I just say what I normally say. See you later.
Ciao.
Ciao. They're like, that's not at
Shut
all
up.
what we do.
Do you? But in Hawaii, do you get into aloha?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Aloha, aloha.
Yeah.
I wish there was a variation, but whatever.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
convenient.
I just turn around and leave when someone says hello.
You're like, well, I didn't
Like, did
know.
you- I thought you were
didn't
saying
know that.
goodbye.
Get the fuck
I
out of
thought you were
here.
saying goodbye.
Goodbye.
I just walked in, but that's what
Are
I
you
took
guys
it as.
open? Aloha. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I'm
this
so
guy doesn't
sorry.
even want to play the game.
Chelsea, thanks so much for this. We wish you well. 200 episodes, 200 times of us around-ish
Yeah.
saying this.
How funny if we're off and this is only $1.99.
You know what? How fitting. My first time on Doug Loves Movies, it was the three of us and someone else who I forget. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. And 200 episodes, we re-reacted another little bit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That just timed out.
Yeah. Thank you so much. as always, we wish you well. Sincerely, your pen pals, Daniel Van Kirk
Rory Van Scovel.
and
Doug Benson.
Doug says he's going to sing it by himself.
Here we go. Pen pals.